Sitting on the old front stretch at Darlington. We're straddling the number 9 here. Big news earlier this week, you're going back to that number next year in the Cup Series. You got to be excited for that, to be able to kind of throw back to the 9 right before Darlington.
Yeah, it was good timing for sure. Obviously something I'm very excited about and something that I could never say no to. So it was an opportunity that kind of came up here pretty recently, and I'm looking forward to finishing out the year, obviously in the 24, but definitely getting moved over next year back to where I came from.
Speaking of where you came from, the guy that used to drive that number, Bill Elliott, your dad, kind of owned this place back in the mid to late 80s into the early 90s. You think about him sweeping 1985. He clinched the Winston Million that it was back then.
Bill Elliott is racing into the record books. Bill Elliott has won an additional $1 million in 1985.
How cool is it to kind of just be here, take in Throwback Weekend, sit in, I'm sure, the same seats that were here back when, you know, he won $1 million here in '85.
They had some great days here. You know, listening to him tell stories about, you know, the days they were actually really good, the days they weren't. I know, you know, talking to him about the day that they clinched the Winston Million, he said they really weren't all that good.
And the car just wasn't right, and things just kept happening and worked out my way.
Ended up kind of being handed to him in some ways. And then there was other weekends where they ran really good and broke and didn't win. So it all kind of came full circle for him here. But this was definitely a great track for them, a memorable one, you know, to say the least, because they accomplished a lot here. Fans to this day, I have people every now and then say, you know, I was there when, you know, when your dad won the million at Darlington, and that's pretty cool stuff.
Take me back to 2014, first time you've ever driven anything around this racetrack. You end up in victory lane for your second ever Xfinity Series win.
Come on, are you kidding me?
This has to be a place where you feel like you might be able to get it done in a Cup car.
I hope. It was, I guess, a little bit beginner's luck that weekend. Since then, it hasn't gone very good. We had, you know, some great things rolling about that time of the year in 14. Ended up kind of getting lucky there at the end of the race, but we also ran pretty good throughout the night, so I didn't think it was a total fluke. Definitely since then, it's been a bit of a struggle, and you know, we need to hopefully get that turned around this weekend. This would be a great time for us to have a solid run and give ourselves a chance.
We already established the fact that you're going back to the 9 car, but you're going to finish out this season in the 24. There's a lot of history here with both of those numbers, but Jeff was good here as well. How big would it be for you to be able to put the 24 in victory lane before you make that number change?
That's high on my priority list, to try to add to, you know, the success that Jeff had in the 24. And you know, I've had an opportunity over the past year and a half to do that, and haven't done it to this point. So still have, you know, what, 12 more races to try to add to it, and I think we can before we change and before I don't have the chance anymore.